Go ahead.
Okay. So no action was taken in executive session. So let's move on to old business. The mentoring program update. Is that where I'm at here?
Yes, it is.
Yes, sir.
So Diane, I did text Mike pictures yesterday because I was excited. So I meant to send them to you too, Jimmy, but yesterday was a wild day. That's another story for another day. No, I know you want to see this. It's exciting.
Not really.
Yeah, you do, Jimmy. No, you
Picture
do.
of Ben Franklin. I don't want to see it.
I added the county seal to it. I made it a little bit fancier.
Why?
So it's pretty. And then I had
We're
it
not a
printed.
county board, are we?
I added 25. I printed 25 because remember, we didn't want to have a lot. We're not using it for a huge marketing thing. But we wanted to have something. At the time, we had talked about maybe just using it for people that had come to us. But I was thinking, since we have this, it's printed, it's informational. It's on the little glossy paper and it was folded and it cost around $30 to do all this, that maybe I should drop a few off at economic development so that when they do have people, they can give them this to help them before they even call and have a conversation with us.
That's always been the plan, right? To work hand in hand.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Yep. You did a great job on that, Rose.
Yeah, it looks good.
Yeah. Look at you. Look at you. You're the marketing person.
So many talents, guys.
Guru, but not limited to, Rose.
That's
So
me.
many hats. So, okay. Thank you for that, Rose.
Yes.
And on policies to be amended. So we have the labor policy and that
So-
is, go ahead, Rose.
Yeah. We had left off on that, Mike. That's
Yeah.
I just wanted to reminder here. We obviously made the motions already about made the motions. We had the resolutions last board meeting
Yes.
about fixing the like administrative stuff to put it in line with our matrix. But that's where we were discussing whether or not we wanted to add the drug screening.
Correct. And what we'll have to do now is, I spoke with Joe and Joe is just getting clarity on that from a legal perspective right now. So that's it, right?
Yes.
Yes.
That's correct, Chair.
Okay. So let's move on to the housing policy. So that's on page 10. Okay. You guys are pretty much involved, you realize what's going on with the housing policy. So, we've been putting those small groups together. So everybody's coming back with information on how we can best, help out with the housing crisis with our entity here. And currently we have the moratorium on it. And that comes to fruition on the 15th of April. So we're still collecting data and we're still getting information on what we can do and where we need to be and what best fits this board and how it can help help with the housing problem. Everybody's coming with different information. We have a couple of committee members that were had deaths in the family and so on and so forth. So we just want to collect some more info on this yet. So I think when we come back, when is our next meeting? Rose?
April 20th.
April 20th. So hopefully between now and then we can meet once again here and really put this on the table and have a good hearty discussion, as Diane put it, and see where we have to be at.
Yeah.
So right now, we have nothing new to add until we get some more information here.
And
Okay.
Mike, I'll work with Rose to try to get the committee, the working group back together again.
That sounds good, Diane.
Prior
perfect.
to the next governance meeting.
Yeah, and then, I know you and Rick were at the last one with Rose, and I had another meeting I had to attend. So Rick wanted to see my notes with everyone I spoke to also. So I have all that available.
That'd be great.
Also. Okay.
Thank you. Yep, that'd be helpful.
All right, last in the queue here is the UTEP and the matrix. So we did have some language changes to the matrix, but as far as the UTEP goes, any changes to the UTEP would have to be under a public hearing. Correct, Rose?
Doesn't have to be, it's recommended and it's good practice.
Good practice. So this way we can get.
Correct.
The board will have a public meeting to review and
Mhm.
for transparency.
Mhm.
Rose, do you want to go over a couple language changes that we had in the UTEP or the matrix? I'm sorry.
The ones that we've already made. And
That's
just
correct.
go
From the
over
last
that
meeting.
record, sure.
Yeah.
So, from the September meeting, we decided to, just read the motion. There was a motion to recommend to the board adjustments to be made to the UTEP and matrix. Number 1, remove public transportation. Number 2, add community involvement criteria and apply the criteria of 3, 5, or 8 services from local vendors to or providers to gain either 1, 2, or 3 points, respectively. And then 3, community involvement would be for the life of the pilot, not just for a few years. We had started talking about in the last meeting in January, we had started talking about, but had not formally made changes to adding the idea of if a project was going to use a contractor or subcontractor that used an active and approved New York State apprenticeship program, that this could be another way of earning points in the community investment column.
Okay. All right. So we're up to speed on that. So number 8, moving on to new business. So it's a review of administrative staff contracts. So Rose, that'll be your agreement, your contract.
Yes.
So right now you're due up on June 30th, correct, with this contract?
Yes.
And you send it out to the board. Did the members here have a chance to just go through some of that? There's no changes made since.
No, there were no changes since it was approved by the board at the last board meeting.
Okay, no changes.
As of what was sent out.
Okay.
Right.
All right.
We had discussed maybe adding some language in there to make sure that it includes the rest of the miscellaneous tasks that the staff perform. So maybe we'll make that change and any other adjustments to the contract, and we could bring that before the board next meeting. Are there any other changes that the governance committee would like to see?
No, nothing. Nothing. Diane, do you have any?
No, I do not, Mike.
Yeah, and I know. I mean, I spoke to Rick, but not here to speak for Rick, but he didn't really press anything on me. Okay, so what we'll do is we'll bring it back to a recommendation to the board, to accept. And Chair, correct me if I'm wrong, or Joe, are we allowed to recommend to extend it 2 years? Can we, because of the?
You can do whatever you want to do.
Okay.
And again, I think you should put it in, you have the out with the 60 days.
Correct. It's always at 60 days.
You have a policy in place for, I believe, Rose, and maybe Joe can help me, for RFPs, things like that. I think that's what we have. And it's just a time saver. And if there's a problem, then, I won't be here, but I urge the board, and I know they will, to, continually to sit down with, whether it's the CEO or or any other provider quarterly or twice a year to discuss how it's going. And I mean, Diane, you'll be the incoming chair. It's something that, you know, it's good practice, you know, kind of deal.
I think it's a good idea. I did check with council to make sure that we
Yes.
are staying out of trouble and doing what's best, obviously, also. So yes, you can extend a contract for further than 1 year, especially because our RFPs are every 3 years. And then it just needs to be reviewed annually.
Mhm.
And like Jimmy was saying, I know he and I have discussed that too. And I think that's definitely good practice for any of the vendors that we're using, right? That you want to check in quarterly, twice a year, something like that, and say, maybe, you know, in case there are things that aren't going as you need.
You know, it's something that the CEO, you know, listen, it's something that the CEO and the chair should do, especially with vendors. And you know, what I tried to do, you know, in my term as chair, a couple of terms, is really and truly utilize the chairs of governance and audit, and the vice chair, which, you know, happened to be Diane. You know, that way it's a nice, fair, equitable way to sit with your CEO or whoever, and there was a level of comfort there, I would think. But again, you know, that will be up to the incoming board or chair to decide they want to carry on that way.
Mhm.
Well, the thing I was going to add, Chair, both chairs, was that as part of our housekeeping resolution, we consider these appointments. So you've got that check also. The
Yeah.
bottom line is you could have a 10-year contract here, but it's subject to that termination clause.
Right.
Correct.
I
Okay.
think it's well thought out. I don't think any of these changes are earth shattering. I think governance has done a fine job bringing things to light that need to be addressed. You know, we're always looking to put something out there that's you know, that people can focus on and say, okay, I get it. You did what you did and this is why. So kudos to governance, and hopefully the recommendation will be embraced by the full board.
Right. Thanks for that, Chair, and I have a great supporting cast, so you know, it's been my practice all through life. Have the best ones you can on the job, you know, shine like a new dime. Okay, a motion for adjournment.
Motion to adjourn.
I'll second. All in favor?
Aye.
Rose?
Okay.
What's up, Bill?
3:09.
I'll wait till the motion to adjourn.